So here's one I can't believe has taken me as long as it's taken me. Teelas. We're just going to do all of them right now, one video, the entire Masterverse Teela collection. What's the best? What's the worst? Let's do it right now. So if you're just discovering the channel, if you haven't been here long, if this is just a random video that you've clicked on, Teela is my favorite character in all of Motu. And I have explained this multiple times, but there is a video talking about my top 5 characters in Motu. You can watch that. But to give you a small indication, it's not because of a crush on Teela or because Teela's hot or anything of that nature. Teela is realistically my favorite character in Motu. Hands down. I like her attitude. I like her design. I like the principles behind her. I like how human she felt from Revelation. There are things about her that never leave my interest. And I really loved her depiction in the comic books, especially when I seen her in the Injustice crossover, which made me wonder why we didn't get He-Man and Teela and other characters of that nature in Injustice, because, oh man, especially now that Mortal Kombat is like primed to bring in character after character after character, like recently. Mortal Kombat is about to bring Conan the Barbarian. You have my attention. Mortal Kombat, now you have my attention. I've been out of the game since Armageddon. For anybody that's curious, I played a little bit of Mortal Kombat X, a little bit of Mortal Kombat. Probably more of Mortal Kombat than Mortal Kombat X. And my last major stint in Mortal Kombat was Deadly Alliance and Deception. Armageddon's where I kind of stopped. I probably played it for like a month and was done with it. But you gonna put Conan the Barbarian in your game? Now I'm all ears. Now I'm ready to come back and give you a shot. But like, this blows my mind. That they went out of their way to do the comic book and it was so good, and then this never actually happened. But all of that aside, Teela, my favorite character, doesn't have a whole lot of representation inside of Masterverse. I don't know 100% why, but she just doesn't. One could argue the same for Evelyn, I would imagine, because Evelyn has Dark Lyn, the Time Skip Lyn, and now the classic Evelyn. Oh, and Sorceress Evelyn. So, 4 of them? Interesting. 4 of them. 4 of them. And it just so happens that Teela has Sorceress Teela, another Sorceress Teela, before Time Skip and after Time Skip. Now, you could see that 3 of these have yet to be opened. They've been sitting on the shelf for a long time now. Now I want to open all of them, and I just want to do the straight up countdown. I want to open them all, I want to check them out, and then after so we're going to cut the film, we're going to cut the film here so that I can open every single one of them, so that I can look them over, so I can get a decent amount of first impression, and then I'm going to come in and do a type of countdown for all of them, kind of going over the ones that have caught my attention the most, and that's what we're about to do here. So we will be back with number 4. All right, if I'm being completely honest, this was tough. Tougher than I expected it to be. I thought this would easily be a blow-through, but it's not. I actually like all 4 of these. So let's get that out of the way right now, because I'm going to pick a number 4, and I know that that automatically leads to certain kind of comments and certain kinds of speculation. But my number 4 is this one right here. Time Skip Teela is my number 4. There are some things that I absolutely love about her. Okay? 1, the serious nature of her look, I do actually appreciate quite a bit. And there's a couple of things that I definitely did not catch in the original show that now I'm kind of seeing, and it's interesting. I see some Jedi stuff taking place here. She's in absolute terrific physical shape. I actually like this hair. I know that people are like, oh, I hate this friggin' hairstyle, blah, 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 wokeness. I like this hair a lot. I really do. I've known some people in real life that have been able to pull this off, and it is fantastic when they can do it. Not everybody can get away with every hairstyle. Just like when you walk into your local grocery store and somebody thinks that they can do blue hair and they can't. And then the other people that can do blue hair and they look terrific. Everybody has a type of face, body, and so on and so forth that allows for certain looks that others can't pull off. But these pants, the boots, this bag, the way the armor is built up, the sword in general, the fact that it's basically like a hilt that then expands into a sword or can become this, there's a lot of Jedi stuff taking place here that I was unaware of back when I very first viewed the character. And now that I'm looking at her close up, I can see it, and it does work for me. I like everything about this. She has a lot of bend here and has this bend here. And that actually puts her in an interesting position because no other Teela has the amount of movement that Time Skip Teela has. None of them. None of them. That's very interesting to me that the rest of them seem locked down in a way where they don't seem to be able to move, or you can't see that amount of movement, but she's number 4, all right? But I do like her a lot. Now, number 3. Ooh, this is tough. This is like really tough. I might surprise some people with this one, but it's her. It's what they call Sorceress Teela, but I'm not going to call her Sorceress Teela because this is very much the Eternian Goddess, the Eternian Goddess Teela. That's what she is. It's the original concept of the toy brought in. That's the snake armor. There's the snake scepter that she always had, the big snake staff. We're showing a lot more skin and everything, of course. And we have this really cool tail here, like this snake skin. But like really, when you break this down, the green skin and everything like that, she is she's the goddess Teela. She's the other side of the figure that we used to see when you put all the snake armor on and everything. And then the fact that later on, she was made her own character and given green skin. But like right here, there she is. That's the Eternian Goddess Teela. She has a fantastic face on her. It is done very, very well. I like it a lot. I like this effect, even though it's not great. It does cause certain issues, and it's hard to like keep on her, especially the way that it's done. It's really tough to like get it on there in a way that like makes it worth having on there. And I am trying. I'm moving the hand around and everything like that, trying everything I can just to get it to stay in a way that makes me happy. And her open hand is the one that's supposed to be doing this, but then the way the curvature of the effect and everything, so it gives me a lot of trouble and offers an interesting problem for display in general. She also seems to have the most trouble of the 4 Teelas standing, but as you just saw right there, I can get her to stand. It's not like this is an impossible task. I'm just simply saying that of the 4 Teelas, I had the most trouble getting her to stand. I do like her a lot. Mine has an imperfection down here on the foot. I have a little black mark. It's a little blemish, but I can overlook it even though it really does bother me. This is the problem with buying your figures online, however. In the last couple years, I've moved to buying my figures almost exclusively online because I don't want to miss them. I have 5 Walmarts, okay? and I have 3 targets within decent driving distance that I could go to. But if I go to them, one target seems to always have the exact same things. That's it. One target seems to have none every time I go, and the other target seems very far behind. They're still selling fistos. And there's only like 2 pegs in the whole thing, and like one little area where like some Origin stuff is sitting. So I've moved to buying online exclusively. And a lot of times when I do that, I don't get to pick the figure. I don't get to look at the faces and see which one is the best face or which one has no blemishes or so on and so forth. I just get sent one, and I have to cross my fingers that the person cared enough to actually look out for me. In this case, did they? Maybe, because the rest of the character is absolutely fantastic, so it's not too big of a deal. But yeah, we're showing a lot of skin here with this Teela, which is fine. You know me, I don't mind that. I'm a big fan of Red Sonja and so on and so forth, and I think that barbarian fantasy needs to be along the lines of Conan the Barbarian, and we need brutal, sexual, visceral, like savagery on display for barbarian fantasy to work. These people need to show skin, and they need to be vicious, and there needs to be a brutality to their universe, and I'm okay with all of that. I think that it bleeds in, and I think that it works very well. So I like that in general. I really do. I enjoy that. It's fantastic. But this is number 3 for me, which I am honestly surprised because she could have edged out the other one easily. It could have been a very huge fight, but in the long run, this is my number 2. Following in her mother's footsteps, this figure is fantastic. From the fur down here, to the edges up in here with the extra fur, to the way the armor is displayed, to the gem, to the fantastic face sculpt that just really couldn't be better, to carrying her mother's staff, to having a cape that actually works, to all this long graph material right here, showing just enough skin to be exactly what I want her to be. She's the sorceress. She is the next step in the line of sorceresses, and she's just enough of herself while just enough of her mother to really catch my attention and drive it home. I like her a lot. Now, you don't even know how close this was. I knew that she was number 4, but I had fought with myself as to how far above anybody actually was. I'm being very serious. This was tough for me. In fact, I decided in real time while I was talking to you that this is number 1. Like, in real time while I was talking to you, because before I set the camera up, she was 2, and she was 3. These 3 right here are almost interchangeable. I like them that much. There are very, very tiny things here that are edging out characters, and they are incredibly minute things. This is before time skip Teela. She did come with an extra portrait, which I'm actually really happy about. She's got this shield, which I like a lot. She's got this very serious warrior face. This is the face that led to this. Because I'm going to tell you something right now, and I don't care one way or another. You can say what you want. You can be as mad as you want about Revelation. I'm a Revelation apologist as far as I'm concerned. I don't care. I think it's a fantastic show. Let me tell you, if I found out that everyone in my life was lying to me, that would be the least of your problems, is my angry face. Because I would be so irritated that I found out my whole life that my mom was lying to me, that my dad was lying to me, that he was my actual dad. Because for a long time, if we're going off the idea that this is any kind of shared continuity, he was my adoptive father, not my real father, which that would have irritated me. Then to figure out that he knew my mother all along, and that was kept from me. Then to figure out that my best friend, whom I was in love with, was also the man that kept showing up, the hero of Eternia, which I was always in love with, which was making my life very difficult because I had a responsibility to protect the prince. But he was also my best friend. But he was also more than that. But there was also this other man that I was interested in who was probably my better bet if I was ever going to have a real relationship, because, let's be honest, I can't necessarily date the prince because that's the charge that I'm supposed to be taking care of. And then to find out that also the cat that I named that I've known my entire life, that's a sentient being that can talk to me, also knew that my best friend was He-Man, was the guy that I was interested in some one way, blah, blah, blah. So now I've got two people that I'm interested in that are the same man that nobody ever bothered to tell me. I've got a mother that nobody ever bothered to tell me was my mother. I have a father which lied to me and said he wasn't my father for years. I have a cat, a pet, who lied to me instinctually to my face, purposely over and over and over again for years, that all of this was taking place behind my back, and a goofball that I've saved more times than I can count and tolerated and loved in an unconditional way for as long as I can possibly remember, that also spit in my face and lied to me for years upon years upon years. You think that face would cover the amount of angry that I would be? You cannot make He-Man and Teela a relationship item without revealing the lies at hand. Revelation clears up all the BS so we can get to revolution and put these two together. You cannot build a relationship on a foundation of lies. And if you're going to tell me about, like, here, if you're going to give me this line about being protective, if he has to keep it a secret because he has to protect the people around him, that's also ridiculous. Who is the most targeted people? Who are the most targeted people on all of Eternia? Who are they? The royal family and the people connected to the royal family? How many times has Teela been in danger directly because He-Man is a thing and because Adam is a thing? How many times has Man-at-Arms been directly in danger because He-Man is a thing and Adam is a thing? How many times has Orko been directly in danger because He-Man is a thing and because Adam is a thing? How many times have the King and Queen been directly in danger because He-Man is a thing and Adam is a thing? And they're the same thing. Revealing the fact that Adam is He-Man, in the long run, all it does is open up the truth. That's all it does. The superhero changing and keeping a secret identity thing is left over from a time when it made sense to play up this pulp hero aspect of the secret identity. Most, or a lot of superheroes at this point have pretty much left the concept behind. Some still very much follow it. Superman. But when Superman decided that it was time to be with Lois Lane, one of the first things he had to do was reveal the truth. He had to say, I am Superman. And he had to take the fallout, or what should have been a much deeper fallout, for having played Lois Lane for a fool for so long. And if she figured it out, there also should have been a fallout for her to have been lied to for so long. And not that she wouldn't have understood it a little bit in his case. I'm saying there's leniency here. But Lois got to find out that Superman was Superman because Superman told her, or she discovered it herself, depending on the continuity. And then she dealt with that in real time and said, I understand why the lie is there, but no more. Now I need to know everything. There's no lies between us if this is going to be a thing. And he wasn't allowed to play the angle of, well, I don't want you to know because secret identity, blah, blah, blah. In Spider-Man's case, it does work. In this case here, the only person that didn't know, even the Queen knew. The only person that didn't know and was blatantly lied to time and time again was Teela. And it went even further, because anytime Teela did figure it out, she would have her memory magically erased. You would not be okay with that level of deception and lies. Especially if you are one of the most competent fighters on the planet. On the planet. In the universe. And then told, well, it was dangerous for you to know. Why? I'm already fighting alongside you on a daily basis. The bad guys already see my face on a daily basis and come after me sometimes to get to you. It's already happening. It's just a lie for the sake of a pulp story having a lie, so that we can go, you know, where'd you go and why do you look like a fool and blah, blah, blah. And there's little fun aspects to it. But in the long run, it doesn't make a lot of sense in most continuities for that lie to persist as long as it does in terms of Teela. In terms of Teela. Doesn't make sense. So you better believe that I'd have been mad. And that I probably would have been mad enough to change my entire life. The one that I put in number 4. A lot of her design choices make sense to me, because at that point, I don't want to associate myself in any way with the lies that have been told to me up to this point. And I will never be treated that way again. I will never be the weaker one in the room. That Teela looks physically stronger. Like, her arms are a bit bigger, her body is a bit more stout. She's taught herself to rely on physical strength, personal physical strength. She has done away with identifying marks that used to define her, like her beautiful, long, red hair. That is now a symbol of a person that she was, that she sees as naive. She got rid of it. Full warrior, short hair. And most people that do things like martial arts and whatnot will tell you short hair is important for fighting. And she now lives and breathes fighting in a way that was even more so than she was as captain of the guard, because now she's a mercenary for hire, a red Sonja sellsword. And if somebody gets a hold of your hair, oh, you're in trouble. I love Teela. I identify with Teela. I understand Teela. I live and breathe my favorite character. I do. She is the only character of all the He-Man figures that I bought the 1/6 scale figure of. She is my favorite Motu character. And here's all 4 of her forms currently in Motu. And this is my favorite one right here. And I do like the fact that I got the extra portrait so I can make her kind of very close to classic Teela. But I can also do the Red Sonja fierce thing where I put all the hair down and she looks mad, she looks fierce. And I'm into that too. And I like the armor in general. I think that it works very, very well as an update to the original design. But I would be lying if I told you that I don't want the actual classic Teela. Because I'll tell you what, when they announced the classic Evelyn, and I saw that figure, you have my undivided attention. If you're going to do it for her, if you're going to do it for Evelyn, if we're going to get a classic Evelyn, I would love a classic Teela. And I would love for Masterverse to do the same thing that is currently being done for Origins and dig into the animated line. I would love to get an animated Teela in Masterverse style. This size, this design. These are the body sculpts I like. I like Origins, but Masterverse is definitely where I make my home. As far as I'm concerned, they are the superior line. That's personal. I did not grow up with the 80s toys. I got into this as an older man. And as such, my interest was to get large, physical, barbarian figures that looked and acted more modern scale. And I've got them. They're right there. There are things I wish could be done better. I would like to see some butterfly joints in this line so that we can get things like holding an axe with 2 hands and so on and so forth. I would love to see that. But for where we are with the body sculpts we're getting at $20 entrance fee, basically, like $25 now, I don't think that there's a whole lot of complaining I could do. All 4 Teelas, a Teela rant, a Teela explanation, a hard fandom topic for some people, but that's my thoughts on Teela. That's my countdown. I'm gonna get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.